It's time to start the official presentation of the new episode of Dream Big with Zhanna, inspiring you to reignite, refire, and refuel your life. And thank you guys. If you're watching us right now or you're watching the replay, thank you for being with us. We are trying to bring the best experts in different fields and to inspire you in your businesses and lives. And today, if you are the business owner or not, you're going to be inspired by this amazing woman. Her name is Michele DeLima, who is the guest on today's episode of Dream Big with Zhanna. So, Michele, I want to welcome you.
Zhanna, thank you so much. It's really such a treat to be here.
Yes, well, it's my treat. The treat is ours, as they say. And just to start with, I would love to read your a little bit of your official bio, which I, by the way, people was very, very impressed by, and I'll add my personal flavor to that. So Michele DeLima, creator of the Copy Kitchen, works with the purpose-driven go-getters, entrepreneurs who are excited to grow their business, but tired of chasing clients and attracting tire kickers. She helps them peel back the mystery of their dream clients down to the bone needs, motivations, and desires, and craft powerful marketing messages that win the hearts of clients they love. An award-winning speaker with the International E-Women Network, Michele's passion for empowering others runs deep. Before starting her own company in 2009, she was a senior portfolio manager at top global banks, helping startups to Fortune 500 companies, multinational organizations tell their story and secure the money they needed to grow and thrive. Today, Michele regularly feeds her marketing addiction via world-class gurus and shares the juicy branding and copywriting strategies with the masters with her one-on-one and group clients. And this is really, really impressive. And I love the way it's written. Well, that tells you guys that she is a master of what she's doing, which is writing the marketing copy. And on the personal side, on the personal note, I've known Michele. I've had the honor to know her for the last, I believe, 3 or 4 years already.
Yeah.
And she's not only that she is an amazing professional and a brilliant coach, she is also a magnificent individual, bright soul, bright light. Really, really, everything that she does comes directly from her soul and directly from the heart. And so if she says something, she means it 100%. And I'm glad to call her my friend too. So Michele, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, my dear friend.
My dear friend too. So Michele, our audience would love, love, love to know your definition of marketing. Let's start with that. So what is marketing to you? And I will tie it up with another question. Have you always been passionate about writing?
Okay, thank you. Okay, so my definition of marketing. I have the way I view marketing, it's a bond that you are creating with the people that you most want to connect with, the people that you most want to serve. And what's the best way to build that bond so that people are so excited to connect with you? I believe it's by stepping into their shoes, really putting yourself into their life, into their, thinking about the world from their perspective. What are their pain points and challenges and blocks? What are their great needs and longings? And can you truly put yourself into that perception and really think about the world from their perspective so that everything that you create for your marketing, whether it's your websites, your webinars, opt-in sales pages, whether you're going to networking events or you're talking to somebody on the phone, whatever you're doing to market, you're always doing it from that place of great compassion, empathy, and love for your ideal clients. And you're always asking with every step that you take, every word that you write, what's in it from me? and why should I care from your ideal client's perspective. And when you can do that and do it with authenticity and really showing up as who you are, that I believe is the secret to creating marketing success.
That was so. You said so many important things that we can. I kind of want to break it down and ask you to repeat some of it, but there's a lot of people. Let me just ask you something. There's a lot of people who are intimidated by marketing because they think it's very complicated. They don't know how to do it, and it seems like it's a long process. And so, what would you say to that? Because going through, like you were digging really deep. Um, is it worth taking the time to really understand the needs of your ideal client to really get through?
For sure. There's two parts to what you're asking. The first part is, gosh, marketing can be so complicated. Hang on to that thought for just a minute. But as far as what I really believe and what I'm really passionate about is that it's important to take the time to really get to know your ideal clients. And I'd love to share some ideas about that. Because what happens when you don't do that, when you assume that you know what people want and need, and you don't validate, oftentimes what can happen is you can spend a lot of time and energy and money creating something, creating some kind of a marketing campaign, whether it's going to, an expensive event or just spending that kind of time, or it's creating a marketing funnel, a digital online marketing funnel, or a print piece. But if you haven't nailed what's really important to your clients, what would be most meaningful to them, your message could be off. And then what happens? You either attract people, the wrong people, who aren't necessarily going to convert for you. They might not necessarily want to become your clients. They might be people that you don't want to work with.
That's a great piece to that. That's
Or they might be tire kickers, or there just might be something that's a little bit off kilter, so that there's not that wonderful resonance and that wonderful match. They're not the clients that you really want to connect with.
Yeah, that's a very, very good observation. Not only observation, it's the wisdom from you, because a lot of us, when I personally, when I started the business, I was attracting all sorts of people, and only 1/3 of them were the people that I really, really loved, and I wanted them to stay and be with me, and just like that. And I couldn't understand what was off. Like, why are all these people coming to me? Like, what do we have in common? And the complaint is, and then, it took me years to understand that there was something about the marketing that was off. And it's something, of course, like who I was, and my marketing was reflecting who I was at the time. So I was getting, this is really huge. Yeah. And it creates a lot of frustration for a lot of entrepreneurs out there. Yeah. So how did you, can I, with your permission, go back to the question that I asked, like the second part of my first question. How did you develop this love for writing yourself?
Well, I think it was somehow I was born with it. But I've just always thought of myself as a writer. I've been writing since I was a kid, and I just love it. But then a funny thing happened. Like, I was that kid in 6th grade who always loved writing book reports. Everyone else was complaining, but I loved the way characters in books jumped off the page, and I loved writing about that. And then in high school, even my friends would come up to me and start asking me to edit their papers. And again, I don't know why. I didn't advertise, but they just seemed to flock to me to do this. And somehow I could just see the clear path through whatever they were writing in order to really tighten it up, make it flow, and make their papers just really shine so they could, get those really hot marks with their teachers. And it's just always been that way. And even in my first career, which was corporate banking, for 16 years, what I was really doing, although functionally, I was helping businesses access the money and I was representing them to the credit committees. Essentially, what I was really doing is telling their story in a compelling way. and wrapping my arms around who they were, where they were going, what was so important to them, what was their passion, and how they were going to make a difference for their clients and customers. But it was really getting that story right. And that's actually another form of marketing, is being able to share your story in a compelling way, in a clear way that lights the fire of your audience.
And that's what I was gonna ask you. Maybe you mentioned that you have some tips for us, if you don't mind. What do people start with, and what are the tips of the keyword is the compelling story, and I know that because it's you can tell the same story in so many different ways, and not all the ways would be speaking from your heart. So many questions that I want to ask you at the same time, but let's stick with the ones like, what would be the tips? What do people start with? What would you recommend? How to tell the story? And we're talking about not the spoken word, but the written word, to make it clear, right? We're talking about your story in the marketing copy, which is basically the emails or the websites or any other articles, blogs, whatever that is. So what are the tips from Michele DeLima today?
Okay, Zhanna. And just to be short, like the first tips I would suggest are, as far as identifying and validating your ideal clients, so that you can then write that story. Here are some of the things that I do all the time with my one-on-one clients and also in my group programs. The very first thing I will do is I will actually imagine what it's like to be the person that I'm speaking to. I will even like just sit down, close my eyes, and just pretend they are right there sitting with me and think about what I would say to them and actually have a conversation. I know it sounds a little bit nutty, but you'd be amazed how far you can get in that conversation if you just really open your mind to it and just have fun with it. And just really think about what would you really say to them? What would they really say to you? And then another thing that you can do is also to just open up your imagination, is you can pretend to write them a letter. What would you actually say to them? And sorry. Daughter's home.
No, that's okay. That's totally fine.
So what would you say to them in that letter? And just really, get into it and just pretend that you're writing to them, so that you can start to really talk to them from your heart in your writing, and really always be thinking about, like, what would make this really a wonderful letter for them if I'm telling them and explaining something and sharing something. So those are a couple of fun things you can just do all by yourself to really get you started. If you want to then take the next big steps, there are two things that I'd recommend. One is you can do surveys. You can do free surveys on SurveyMonkey, and I know there's some other apps too. And you can just really start asking a few questions, maybe 6 to 10 questions, and send those out to people that you would think would be really good candidates to answer and provide some really good feedback for you. Perhaps, and ideally, people that could potentially be your clients. And of course, you always want to frame it so they realize you're not selling, that this is just for informational purposes. This would just be a huge help for you, just to help advance your own business, and just you'd be really happy to share the results of the survey. Just ask some of those compelling questions about what their biggest pain points are and their challenges, and what might be their deepest goals and their desires. And because what you want to do is you want to validate your assumptions.
Yes.
So, and a good way to start framing those is by looking at your testimonials. What have your own clients said about you and working with you in the past? Maybe they've talked about their challenges. Maybe they've talked about their longings. Another place that you can tap into are your notes from enrollment conversations. So I hope people are taking notes every time that they're talking with a prospect, because that can be really rich in information for your marketing.
You can maybe even ask for their permission to record the enrollment conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, Michelle, if you don't mind, what if it's somebody who is just starting and they don't have the former clients? What would you recommend in this case? If they don't know, they really know that they would like to start the
Mhm.
business, they have the zip code and everything, but not very clear. So what would you recommend to those people?
Okay,
How?
sure. I would say the same thing holds with the surveys. Reach out to people that you know that would support you. But again, make sure that you're reaching out to people who could conceivably be a client of yours. Because
Mhm.
otherwise, if the person has no real need or even anywhere close to what you're providing, their information would really be off kilter. So the closest that you can zone in on who might be potentially a good client for you.
Mhm.
But again, like couching it and like, hey, this is just informational purposes only. I just really appreciate your help. Do it from that way. The other thing that you can do is informational interviews. It's the same thing, but you're really reaching out to somebody and say, hey, could I borrow you, for 20, 30 minutes max and just ask you for some questions and again, just as you suggested, record that and take lots of notes. And then as you're interviewing people, at least 5 people, ideally, it sounds like a lot, but 10 or 12 people, then you start to get a real body of like super precious information that's golden
Mhm.
to help you validate and be sure of what are your ideal clients' deepest needs and desires.
Yeah, yes, amazing. Yes, when I started doing coaching for moms who would like to start businesses,
Yeah.
I interviewed 13 to 15 moms. Yes,
Yeah,
and it can be conducted by phone, so you don't really have to
absolutely.
make an in-person visit with them because it's always, especially now, everybody's so busy, so we want to
Yes.
honor the time. Thank you so much. Michelle, question behind, coming from the idea that people don't join businesses, but people join people. And I just want to ask so that everybody understands who Michelle is, because I know you personally. What are the values that are really non-negotiable for you, very important for you in relationship, personal or business relationship, doesn't matter? Because it will be reflected in your copy. That's what I'm asking.
Okay. Thank you. I think the non-negotiables are, and they're all top. So I would say somebody who's passionate about their business,
Mm-hmm.
truly loves what they're doing and the people they're serving, and they really believe in themselves and know that they're making a difference in somebody's life. Maybe they're the best kept secret. Many people are,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, they have such integrity and belief in who they are that they know that what they do is valuable and they're making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that's so important to me is because when I'm working with somebody like that, it just totally feeds my passion and my energy. And between the two of us, we're creating something that's like beyond what either of us could have imagined on our own. And that's like where the real magic happens. So being able to, be with somebody and help them do that, that's just amazing for me. So it's really important that I just feel that somebody thinks, feels that way, that they're passionate about their tribe and their business and that they show up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, the going gets tough sometimes, but no matter what, they're just like, absolutely, I'm there. I'm going to roll up my sleeves, do whatever you say, because I know this is going to be so cool and it's going to really help me race ahead in everything that I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You mentioned several times that you have group programs. Can you tell more about the group program that I know there is a new one that you were so passionate about. Can you tell us more?
Oh,
What's
thanks,
the,
Zhanna.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
what it's all about and who is it for and what are you expecting from it or who,
okay,
yeah, why are you so passionate about it? Because it's just jumping
sure.
out of you.
Okay, it is. It's called Best Clients Ever,
Mhm.
and it's a marketing training, inspiration, and implementation program. And in 6 weeks, it helps my ideal clients, which I'll share in a moment, to really nail who their ideal clients are, pinpoint their ideal clients so that they can attract and draw them in, the people that they love best. Because I believe the more clients that you're working with that you really love, the more fun and success that you can have growing your business.
Absolutely.
But how do you figure that out? So that's what we do in this program. There's essentially three. Oh, go ahead.
Just wanted to ask you, so in 6 weeks, you're saying that people will have like, what's the promise after 6 weeks? And it's all online, right? It's an online?
It's going to be, there's an online platform with the lessons, and then plus there's weekly Q&A and laser coaching calls and a Facebook group, and there's going to be some special bonuses all thrown in.
Beautiful.
So what we'll do in those 6 weeks is we'll really, peel back the mystery of who your ideal clients are. And there are some really juicy, fun ways of doing that and really nailing that. So finally, you can just figure out who are the people that I love, who are the people I need to stay away from, because that's the other side of the coin.
Yes.
So that you know, like every time that you're in an enrollment conversation, if you start seeing these red flags, it's like, let's not go there. Or if it's only one or two and they're acceptable to you, it's like, go there knowingly. How can you, and then what can you do to support that person and yourself so that nobody's getting caught in a situation that's unpleasant or disappointing?
So at the end of the 6 weeks, let's say I'm in that program, I'm gonna get like about what marketing pieces will I have written by myself? I can't even believe it. Oh my goodness, I'm excited.
Okay. So you're going to walk away with your ideal client profile. You're going to walk away with essentially your big call to action to your ideal clients that comes from like this bounty of work that you'll be doing. So you know exactly who you're calling in and why, and you'll have it validated. The other big thing that you're going to walk away with is your marketing message, which essentially it's being able to identify in 2 sentences exactly who you serve, why you serve them, the transformation that you provide that they are eager and happy to invest in because they want it so bad. And this, my friend, is the foundation of every business. When you can get so clear, so perfectly clear about this and about your business and about your world, then it's like everything emanates from that. And then you take, and that is your guiding light for every marketing effort that you do, whether it's your websites, your webinars, your about page, your so that's element number 2. And then the third thing is really crafting your story and getting that right. Because it's one thing to identify your clients and then you excite them. So with your marketing message, because when you have that down cold, there'd be like, oh my God, that's me. And the third thing is having a story, because it's one thing to grab somebody's interest, but how do you draw them in and keep their interest? It's telling a story about yourself that's not just about yourself. It's absolutely aligned with the journey of your ideal clients. Because here's the big secret. It's like your story really isn't about you. It's really about the experience your ideal clients have when they show up in your world and what it's like for them. And how are you showing up for them? And can you share a story that really paints a picture of a journey that they could take, that they could imagine themselves in? Can you paint a picture for them so they're like, oh my God, I can do that. I want that. That's the person I want to work with.
Amazing. So is there any, if you guys are listening right now and you're saying to yourself, yes, that's for me, how can they, is it already available? Can you give us the link to it? How would you like people to connect with you to get access to that program if it's available already?
Yes, well, it is. We're just launching now, and it's going to be starting on, appropriately enough, Valentine's Day. February 14th.
Yay! Yes. Infused with love.
Infused with love. And I do have a special gift for listeners today. It's an excerpt from the program.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Michelle. How do we access that? Is
Okay.
that okay? Go ahead. You
Yep.
can say if that's
Sure.
the same email that or the website that I
The
have.
website link. Yep, that's it.
Is it www.thecopykitchen? I love the name, by the way. thecopykitchen.com/p/my free gift.
Yes,
Correct?
that's it.
Okay, so let's say it again. www.thecopykitchen.com/p/my free gift. And we're going to put it in the comments too. And if you guys want to take advantage of the free excerpt, that's my clock. That's my musical clock. Or if you want to take advantage of it and take a look at what Michele is giving to you absolutely as a gift. Thank you, by the way, for doing that. You are more than welcome to go and take a look at that gift and take it, and it's yours. Thank you so much, Michele.
Oh, my
So
pleasure.
before we're kind of getting closer to the end. My clock is still singing. Yeah, it's done. It just became the tradition on the show to ask all my guests about at least one gem out of their treasure box that they could share with the listeners and everybody who is watching. So, what is this one gem that you can share with us? You gave us a lot more, but it's not necessarily related to the topic of the conversation today, but just overall. It could be. It's up to you.
I would say if I had one thing to share, it would be get curious. Just allow your curiosity to blossom and run with it. So every time that you're thinking about, your ideal clients, your business, your marketing, just allow curiosity to take hold and ask those questions. Keep digging in deeper and deeper and deeper so that you can find more and more wonderful insights and information and ideas to share.
I love that. Curiosity is my driving force, and I just can't believe I had chills in my body when you said it. I love it so much. And what inspires you in life?
Well, I mean, I have this purpose that I've come to this place in the last couple of years, and this is what inspires me every day, and inspires my work, is to have fun and cherish my daughter and my family and friends, to empower and inspire my tribe, and to do all of that and to be successful so that I can help heal and protect the planet.
I think it's tied up with the big dream of yours. The program is called Big Dream. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God. I know you're very passionate about the ocean and helping the ocean and protecting the ocean, among other things in nature. You're just one beautiful, beautiful, beautiful being that I am blessed to know. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Michele, question that might provoke you, and it's a yes or no question. Would you be willing to provide a little bit of the experience so that everybody who is watching can experience your style of coaching around anything related to writing the marketing copy? Would you be willing to?
Of course, I'd be happy to, Zhanna.
Guys, we just got a yes from Michele. So that means we're going, stay tuned, and we're gonna announce the date. We have to figure out when we're gonna do that. And stay tuned if you are interested about Michele's coaching, and she's going to be coaching me. I'm going to be the guinea pig again, with gladly, scary but excited. And you can literally watch and get the really brilliant gems out of Michele's coaching. So stay tuned. You're watching and listening to Dream Big with Zhanna. We recommend that you go to YouTube in a couple of days and watch or rewatch the replay of this video. with Michele DeLima. Just go to the YouTube. It's my name, Zhanna Shpits. You can subscribe to see the other shows that we did. But if you have questions for Michele around marketing copy or anything else that you would be interested to get the answers to, you can comment and write your questions in the thread below, or you can contact Michele on Facebook or go to www.thecopykitchen.com/forward my free gift, and you're gonna get in touch with Michele that way. If you have questions for me, you can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and also on YouTube on Zhanna Shpits. Thank you so much for watching. Share it with everybody you love. And Michele, thank you so much for your wisdom around the copy, the marketing copywriting, because you found another way on how to dig deep and really make the copy compelling. So thank you for sharing some of the secrets with us. And stay
Thank you,
tuned.
Zhanna.
Thank you. Thank you.